Y'all getting the realest, the rawest form of Lil Woda. Y'all getting the realest, the rawest form of Lil Woda. What did you do? Did you just put that in your mouth, fam? Did you get that in your mouth? Dylan just got nail glue on her mouth. That just means you're gonna have to let it rock, bro. You're gonna put some Vaseline on that thing. And what's up, you guys? Hello. So Dylan and I are getting in a different. We have a lot of different things we're passionate about, right? And music obviously is the forefront of our passion. I know, right? I feel like I'm yelling. Let me turn down this little hip hop situation.
I got super glue in my mouth.
It's just supposed to be like a fun little background music. It ain't supposed to be like overpowering me.
And on my cheek.
Dylan got super glue in her mouth.
Ah.
Mayday. Anyway, so she'll come over here when she's ready. I'll put it like this still so you can sit in the corner so then you can be far from the camera. Yes, we have a lot of things we're passionate about. Obviously music, like I said, basketball, duh. But some of you may not know, Dylan, she, puts out a lot of stuff for her poetry. A lot of work that she's done with her poetry, which is very inspiring. I encourage all of you to go follow that page. It's Dill Has Spoken. She's also spoken. Also, she has dedicated a page to her anime and her creativity with her anime. Follow that one as well. It is Dono Dill, DONO _ Dill, DYL.
Oh wait, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
And but I will say I have not taken the time to make any pages to my other passions like my Chef Woda. But I also love to write, and I also love to be a part of the anime making series and movies, and contributing different ideas to Dylan's series that she's writing, as well as doing my own thing, coming up with some cool concepts and ideas for what we've got going on.
I think that I probably inspired you to actually start taking initiative with your passions, because I don't think that...
She did.
This is so really loud.
Where's the remote? Well, you got me. Dylan definitely did. Dylan really inspired me to kind of like start taking initiative on putting my passions to practice, I guess you could say. So
materializing.
Other than just like absorbing other people's works, like I started getting really into reading. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I used to hate reading. Like school and college just made reading like not fun for me, so I did not like reading. Like if you gave me a book, I was like, this was as a gift or something, I'll be like, yee, like that's gonna be getting real dusty.
It'd be one of those things where you rolled your eyes like,
yeah, like no, I was very grateful for the gift, and I would have every intention of wanting to read it,
no,
but I would just like put it in my drawer and like never, unless it was a picture book or a coloring book, like that thing was going some drawer on some shelf and was gonna sit there and get dusty.
I don't think it was made good.
But I did start getting really into reading this year, actually, because it's just, I enjoy seeing other people's creativity. It kind of opens up my mind, takes me to a different level of thinking. And same with Dill.
You should see this back here, all this work.
Yeah, this is all those pages she's flipping is like years and years of writing.
These are actually like full front and back pages.
Crazy. But I will say that with that, we always have watched anime. We've loved Japanese culture. Super fascinated by all cultures, to be honest with you. But the way that the animation, the excitement, the energy, the storytelling that's involved in these different anime, the aesthetics, the way they're all presented, the way they're all drawn, it just really stood out to us for some reason and got us really into Japanese culture. And we started even learning little Japanese phrases because we've watched so much anime. Like, hajimashita.
It's so
like,
funny
nice
because
to meet
I'm
you.
watching myself on live and I see how crazy I am.
Let me see it.
Why does everybody ask, what address? Like, why does everybody keep saying address?
I don't know why everyone's saying that. But basically, you guys...
What does everybody want? Nani! what? Hey,
Let me mute myself while I answer your guys' questions. I don't want to open the camera.
Whatever. I was gonna say you should go block somebody, but it's fine.
It ain't that serious. So, anyways, so these are some of my. I am weird. I can get a little OCD with my writing, so I've done like color coordinating and like different. Trying to get all my different ideas together. I'll start them like in like color coordinations and stuff like that. It's a little intense, but Dylan got me this actually for my writing, so I can get started on it like she's done. So we're kind of getting in creative spaces, and would love your guys' input on things that interest you in whether not. It doesn't even have to be like, oh, I like watching this kind of movie, or I like watching, and it could be that too. But
whoa.
But I want to open this platform up for everybody to contribute their ideas, things they like, things they're interested in, things that fascinate them, things that might be a fetish of theirs. I don't know, just a bunch of different things. I'm just trying to really, before we start writing, before I start getting into these different ideas, I really want to, open up the creative space to let you guys in on it a bit with us and talk about stuff. Talk about things, drink water, it's good for you. And, yeah.
That is correct. You know the deal! Sorry, I'm reading the comments. All the comment people know what I'm talking about. Yep, hashtag you know the deal. Yeah, I don't smoke, guys. Like, to be honest with you, I wish I could smoke. I really do. I wish I could experience, like, the euphoria of opening all of my channels and whatever the hell by smoking. I'm a paranoid smoker.
No, Dill doesn't smoke.
I do not smoke.
No, Dill doesn't smoke. She's had really poor smoking experiences.
Yeah, I've had very terrible... I've had 2 experiences smoking, and they were both traumatizing as fuck. So, excuse my language. So I decided from that point forward, I just, like, could not smoke. And now, anytime I even, like, see, like, blunts sometime and consider smoking, or whatever it is, I literally get, like, anxiety. I get, like, PTSD symptoms. Like, I get, like, my body physically has a reaction when I consider smoking. So it's the weirdest thing, though, because I can tolerate edibles in moderation, but I cannot smoke. I cannot smoke.
Sí, yo hablo español. Hablamos español. Sorry, someone asked if we speak Spanish. Anyway, someone asked if I smoke, and yeah, it's not really something I'm like trying to like be all on my socials with, to be real with you, but I do, like, especially in moments like this when I'm really trying to get like a vibe. I'm just trying to catch a vibe and like relax. I will, but it's not like it's not something I do often at all. I do not. It's like it's pretty not often.
Someone said she can't handle the gas. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I wish I could, for real, because everybody always seems to have like the coolest experience when they're all like chilled out. And when we have our writing sessions, people will come in and like smoke and stuff like that, and they'll be passing it around, and I'm just looking like. Yeah, no, can't do it. Yeah, my body's tingling. Oh, thank you, JDTX. That was very sweet. And thank you, Prince Sofana, I think it is.
We'll sing some acapella for y'all. Yes, Mom, we're burning incense. Y'all, look what you did. My mom's in a lot. Chill out with all this smoke talk. Yeah. Oh.
That's my cousin in the building.
Ooh. Oh my goodness, y'all. This hair. You guys, I'm not gonna lie to you, like, I've been growing out my hair for the last, it's almost been a year. It'll be a year in August. I had Dylan, like, my hair was so damaged. This is random, I'm just talking about this, because like I said, I'm almost there with it. So, Dylan, literally I had Dylan chop all my hair off last August.
Yeah, I was like...
Because I had put, like, growing up, in a white community with a white German mother who Didn't know what
Sorry,
to do.
Mom.
Sorry, Mom. You did your absolute best, but
You're the mom.
she didn't know what she was doing with all this hair. I don't even know what I'm doing with all this
You
hair.
didn't have no help.
I don't even hardly know what I'm doing with all this hair, guys. So straight up, it is so much hair. It's so thick. It is humongous.
Oh, gosh, that's embarrassing.
But anyways, so...
You know the
Dill chopped it all off. Because over the years, it just got so damaged from chemical processing, from coloring.
And yet here I am.
So...
That's my hair. Oh, well.
Thank you to wigs, to weaves, to extensions, to closures, to frontals, to all of that.
You're making me want to go to my Afro Del mode.
Because,
cute little natural self.
but because straight up, without those, you guys, I wouldn't be here today. That's what it feels like. But I love color. When I'm blonde, I'm like, it's like a whole new persona that I embody, and it's fun. I love it. It's like an extension of me still. But this is like the real Woda, right here.
The real whoa.
The real whoa.
Now look at you trying to steal my little names I've made for myself. It's the real deal, though.
Well, DM me if your cousin is good with natural hair, because like my hair is getting really
we got somebody
big.
from Idaho in here.
And I need help. Do we? Shout out to the 208, you guys. We don't go there often, but shout out.
From Idaho. Met us at Bam Jam one year. That's tough. Nice to see.
I think someone
nice
is
to see you.
talking smack on my eyebrows. I got thick eyebrows. I don't know if you're talking smack, but I like that I have thick eyebrows. Like, I'm not trying to like not have my eyebrows. Man, like I swear, people be like, just be natural, and I'm just thinking, in the back of my head, I think, do y'all even know what natural really means? Like, the same men that are telling women to go natural are also the same men that are like, you know, doing unnatural things. So, because when you guys really think about, like, let's get deep with it, okay? Just for a second. Our natural state and what would be considered in the Old Testament as, like, you know, our pure forms, right? It's like a little baby, right? It's like us being born, brand new, little baby, naked. Okay, so all this piercing and tattooing and eyelashes and fucking whatever you guys, lineups.
Nobody would be shaving.
No one would be getting lineups. No one would be cutting their hair.
Nobody would be using soap and shit.
No. Okay? No one would be doing any of that. So it's like, let's not talk about, women always be so natural. I'm sorry. I just don't like the, like, natural versus not natural. Because, like, it is not just, like, one solid freaking black and white line. It's not. It's gray area.
Nothing in life is black and white, but everybody wants to try to act like it is. You know?
True.
That's just what.
All right, I'll move along. But thank you. Yes, I did just get. I'm a month post-op, so I'm finally clear to like do normal workouts. Basically, I just can't do arm stuff really. Did I bleach my hair? I did. I like years ago. I'll never do that again. I won't say never put color on my hair, but I'll never put like chemicals on my hair. You know, I'll never do that again.
Are you starting to look a little wavy over there?
What? Yeah, a little bit. But it's just funny because someone said something like, I could tell you really pay attention to like our life, because someone just said they both act different. Dylan's a little thicker and chill, like, but Dakota is like the hey, how you doing? Dylan kind of the mean twin, mean mugging.
Whoa. Dakota, you better set them straight.
I'll be truthful. I'm not gonna say either one of us are the mean twin. Neither one of us are mean. We're Can I get to it? Neither one of us are mean. But to be honest with you, Dylan.
I'm not proving my point right now.
Yeah. Sorry. Dylan is actually probably more accepting, like nicer than I am, in the sense of she can empathize with more people because she's had more experiences than me.
Let me put it like this.
Okay.
I would say I am I have been previously, I don't say that this is like the current situation, but I'm a lot more accepting and open-minded of people. Like, that's the way that I am. So I am harder to approach but easier to get to. Dakota is easier to approach but harder to get to. So that's probably the best way that I can like explain us as like our differences. I'm like the fully wanting to embrace everybody, no matter how fucked up you are as a person, no matter what you've done in your past. I'm like, hey, you know what? Your past doesn't have to define you if you want to decide right now to do and be better. Like, I always see the potential greatness and the potential positive in every single person, you know, except for maybe like Trump or something. But in every single person that exists, I believe that there's always potential for greatness and positivity. So I always see that in people. Most times I get proven wrong. However, that hasn't corrupted me to change my views on that in that way.
Yo, I don't know what the hell Dylan said at all, but I'm sure she was right. Yeah, good. Yeah, whatever Dylan said, but.
Subs over dubs.
Someone said, how do you guys protect your edges under lace fronts? I love how deep our conversations are getting, guys. We use Got2b instead of like regular glue. We use Got2b glue, and it really has preserved our edges because, as you see here, did a little work on these edges today. But the Got2b is just so much easier to just clean right off. You could literally just use some soap and water or some shampoo or conditioner and just wash it right off, as opposed to like having to use it. Sorry.
What was that?
Bro, I already know what it was. I'm upset. Oh man, it was a thing in my shower.
Holy shit, like for 3 seconds I thought, was that Miku? But then I was like, Miku's downstairs.
Oh my god.
Like my heart just sunk for like 2 seconds. So I'm like, someone said, call the cops. What the fuck was that?
Anyway, someone said Coda the mean one. I'm really not mean. I'm just I'm more like, I have more walls up,
Yeah,
I would say.
I
have more walls up. So it's not that I'm mean. I love being a nice, loving person. I genuinely do. I love treating people with kindness and respect.
I'm weak. Everyone's like, run!
Right, y'all. But I just have more walls up than Dill. So Dill kind of is like more welcoming and like letting people in, where I'm kind of guarded. And I'm kind of like, I love,
now,
like, I'm nice.
Will say
but then I'm like,
Dakota in a past life was very judgmental. She's not that way today. But in a past life, she was very judgmental. But that's only because she hadn't really experienced life to understand that there was much more gray area in the world, and in order to in order to develop an understanding for people in their different circumstances and why people might make the certain choices that they do, or why people might be lacking in areas like self-respect or self-love or whatever it is, and then realizing how much that can impact people's decisions. And doing things that, you know, you look at as, damn, why would you do that? Oh my God, you're crazy. And everyone wants to sit here because we're all motherfucking critics. I try not to be, like, really. I'm on, like, my Buddha shit. But,
ooh, Dylan, breathe, girl.
But I feel like, I can really just go. I don't even need to take a breath. But I feel like now that Dakota has got to experience some things that really tested her character and her perspective and perception on life. I think that one of the hardest things that a lot of people have realizing is that perception really isn't always reality. But unfortunately, because that's all we have to work with as third party observers, we always just assume that perception is reality for whatever we see into other people's lives, when really we don't know jack shit.
Amen. Yeah. So she put it pretty well. I'm a nice person, but I'm guarded. So when it comes to like actually really getting close to me, it ain't gonna be that easy. Where Dylan's a little more like open off rip. I mean, the truth of the matter is, someone said, I feel like I could vibe with Coda on some chill shit, but I could talk about more real shit with Dill. you're not inaccurate with that at all. But the truth is, we're both very deep individuals with a lot of depth, and we have an, how would you explain it? An advanced level of thinking. We both have a very advanced level of thinking. We've both been very blessed.
Dilpak Shakur.
We've both been very blessed. So we are able to have incredible experiences in our lives that have really blessed us and like led us to this point in our lives now. But do not sleep on me with them dope, real ass conversations now. You'd really want both of us to be in it, to be truthful, just because we could both give some different perspective on things. And I think having variety of perspective is important. Keeps expanding the mind, you know what I'm saying?
I'm just gonna say. Wait, what? I'm confused. Dakota's recovery is going very well, as she stated earlier. But what I was gonna say was, on some real shit, I know I talk a lot. Somebody also called me out on that. I know I talk a lot. But, you know, I really am out here giving free game, people. Listen, I am a prospective doctor, okay? And one of these days, I'm going to do a Dr. Dill session where I will go live with people and we can talk about some real shit, give advice, things like that. I literally had this moment the other day where I was talking to a friend of mine, and when I tell you, there was like, it was crazy. I felt like God was like speaking through me, like to him, because there was some shit that I was saying that literally opened up my own mind. Like I was like, oh shit. It was like I was discovering things as I was saying them. I was like, damn, God is really using me as a vessel right now, because oh my God, everything, like a bunch of shit in my mind went like this, click, and everything just came like full circle, and I got it. I understand life. I'm like on some Jim Carrey level thinking.
Wow. Don't give yourself that much credit.
Okay, I might not be all the way there yet, but I see it. I see where he's at with, like, you know, I don't have it all figured out. I definitely am very, very far from that. But I definitely understand, like, we're just all small specks on a smaller speck.
Actually, you know what I think would be cool?
It gets deeper than that, though.
You know, someone said, why singing? My goodness, I might not wanted to answer that right now. But you guys, it's so deep that it's hard for me to even know where to start. Like, first of all, we just love to sing. We love being creative human beings and really expressing our creativity. But straight up, like, music is a universal language, and we have something to say. You know, we really stand for something, and we want to be not just a positive influence, but we really want to help make a shift in changing a culture, bringing peace, bringing tolerance, bringing understanding of difference and diversity. And we feel like music is a universal language that everybody speaks. So why not connect through communication and through that language, on top of it being something we're passionate about and love to do? You know, so it's really a blessing. That's why singing.
Don't worry, we'll definitely check and support the page.
Mom said, music, let's hear it. No, can't do that. Mom, you know why. Why anime? Yeah, I don't know, anime. It just captured our hearts, something so nostalgic about it. And like I said, like the storytelling, and we've watched so much anime that we've been able to really kind of critique the things that we personally enjoy, on top of what, you know, the masses enjoy, because we see the mainstreams that have anime that have made it mainstream, so we kind of understand what people
I'm sorry. Just stop. I don't want to have to text you.
Oh gosh. But okay, someone actually asked a really interesting question. It says,
yes, Killer Cam.
Killer Cam. Tell me some experiences y'all have had growing up in Idaho. Being someone of color, growing up hindered my ability to grow as a black woman until I moved to Chicago. That's crazy that you're in Chicago. Wow.
Chi-town.
But we 1,000% relate to you. 1,000%. And I think for us too, like, I'm not sure your parental situation, but we grew up in a household with our German white mother, who's alive here, and our Mexican stepdad, and who's our father to us. A lot of you guys get that really confused and think Dylan and I are adopted. It is our stepdad, but we do not have a relationship with our biological father. That is our father to us. He raised us. So, there you go. Yeah. Anyway.
And that's that.
And that's that on that. Hopefully that answered a lot of your questions.
To be honest with you, I feel like, we didn't even really.
But can we go back to that? Because I was answering a question and now you're
talking about the color.
Oh, is that what you're going in on right now?
Yes.
Go for it. I thought you were talking about dad.
You mean sperm donor? Anyway.
No, I thought you were talking about our dad, that we consider our dad.
Yeah, I have a father and I have a sperm donor. Well, like, that's a very derogatory way.
In the least disrespectful way.
Whatever. But I would say that, when we were young and we were growing up, we didn't really have a full awareness or understanding of, like, colorism or even cultural relations and things of that nature. Like, we were very naive and very ignorant to a lot of that stuff going on until it got, like, brought to our attention in such an obvious way where it was almost like everybody else had to point it out for us. Like, what are you? What are you? What are you? Like, to me, we were just going with the flow. Like, I'm just a human being, just like you. What are you talking about? Like, we never really saw color until everybody else made it so apparent that we were different.
Yeah. And truth be told, I don't know if you pointed on this part of it, the lack of diversity. I think for us, we moved to Idaho from Denver, and Denver was also lacking diversity, but not to the extremity that Idaho was. We moved to Pocatello, which is like a small little southeast town. It's not, like a big city like Boise. The closest city to us was Salt Lake City. I mean, absolutely no disrespect when I say this whatsoever. We're super accepting people of all walks of life, all religions, all races, all that. That's how we were raised. But at the time, we were very unfamiliar with Mormons and what the LDS community was. I didn't even know it was a religion, to be honest with you, when we moved there.
Yes, we are black, just so that's clear.
Okay, we are black. Anyway, so
black
so
and
at the
white, so that's clear.
Okay, so the time moving there, it was interesting because having that lack of knowledge on the community we were moving into made it very difficult to adjust and assimilate in a way. Like, it almost felt like it at the time. This was just our personal experience. Again, I have plenty of friends who are Mormon. I just want to emphasize this, so I'm not like attacking this religion or at all. But at the time, it felt very excluding of and judgy, which a lot of religions can get that way. But being that this was the community we were being raised in, that was kind of our experience. We felt like we were constantly being judged and looked at and put down for things because we were not a part of that community. And then on top of that, we were African American, and then on top of that, we're females. So, we just kind of like hit all of these marks that made it
all the minorities.
That made it seem like we weren't being accepted, really, to be honest with you. And it was hard because, at that young of an age living there, you want to fit in. Like, we wanted to fit in. And
yeah, but you know what? We grew out of that because I'm like, fitting in.
We grew out of that.
Here's a middle finger and all that. And here's the thing. I don't want it to sound like we had some pity story. Like, I don't want to sit here and be like, I had it so hard and I X, Y, and Z, because here's the truth of the matter. Like, we experienced what was hard for us at the time. And, like, everybody likes to do this shit where we all compare each other's lives and who had it worse and who was this and who was that. Like, everybody likes to do that shit. When really it's like, what you go through and how hard it is on you depends on how it impacted you in your life. So one thing that might depress one person, another person might look at and be like, are you serious? Are you serious? But at the end of the day, that person is still struggling. That person is still going through their depression. That person is still X, Y, and Z. So people just need to cut that out. And at the end of the day, growing up was difficult for us because realize we didn't have anything to compare to. All we knew was this little bubble that we lived in where motherfuckers wanted to, excuse my language, I'm sorry, Mom, where people wanted to judge us so harshly because of our exterior. And then as we got to, grow up and go out and experience life, we obviously got to see so much more, and not even everything, but just so much more to be able to really evaluate and be like, you know what, damn, like there is some real shit going out here. Like, I don't even know why I even thought for 2 seconds that I had it hard, because damn, look at what these people over here are going through. Look what these people over here are going through. So it definitely gave us that perspective as we got to grow up and be like, damn. And now we just try to do what we can to uplift the community. And everybody likes to give us a hard time when we're not always publicly announcing it. But everybody among us is a damn hypocrite. Because one minute it's like, why does everybody want to announce all the good things they do? You guys make it seem like you're trying to do it for an image, and it's not genuine when you do that. But then it's like when I don't announce it and I really am just trying to move genuinely, it's like, damn, y'all don't ever show yourselves doing anything good in the black community, so you guys clearly aren't doing anything, and da-da-da-da. Like, make up your goddamn mind. Okay? All I know is we're going to move with integrity how we feel is right. So regardless of what other people's opinions are, y'all can sit and sleep with that, and I'm going to feel good about how I move, because at the end of the day, people are going to interpret things in whatever damn way that they want to. So I just got to know where my integrity is and how I feel, and what I feel about it. And that's that. Boom.
Anyway. So we're passionate people. So that's where that came
from. I'm very passionate.
Yeah, the truth of the matter is, it's like everybody has, it's life experience. This is about to get so deep, but I was talking to somebody the other day, and we were just talking about, like, at the end of the day, this life is all about the experience. That's why we're here. As humans, we're way more connected than we realize, but we don't feel that way because of how unique we all are, and how we each go through such unique experiences in life. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, the spectrum of emotions, we all operate on it. Like Dylan said, what triggers some people might not trigger other people. But we still operate on a spectrum of emotions, and at some point we all feel them. All the same things, regardless of what it is we're reacting to. We all understand and can relate to that. So it's all just about experiencing life, and we're going to go through it differently, but as humans, I think we can all be a little more empathetic towards each other's experiences. Regardless of each other's experiences, I think we can all be a little more empathetic towards the fact that we all operate on the same spectrum of emotions. So when you say, I've hurt in my life, I don't have to know what hurt you. But the fact that you've hurt, I know what hurt was to me, and if we're operating on that same spectrum, I empathize with you, I feel you. So I think in a way, if we kind of look at life in maybe that perspective, we can all be a little more accepting and understanding of each other, as opposed to like knocking people down for their experiences or how they interpreted things in their life.
Thanks, guys. Dill Luther King. I'll try to keep up with you guys' comments. You honestly crack me up.
Notorious still.
No, on another real tip, I definitely do plan on writing a book one of these days. Probably two. One will be like a poetry book. Another one will be more of like I'm gonna call it a perspective book, because essentially it's meant to be motivating, but it's really just to give people some more perspective and to hopefully let people apply that perspective change to their life and essentially end up to be a more positive outcome for them and for everybody around them. Because I'm telling y'all, I am enlightened, you guys. I am woke as hell. Okay? Like, whoa. And the thing is, to be real with you guys again, because that's just what I do here, and Dakota does here, real Dylan it. We're Sagittarius, right? Sagittarius women.
December babies.
And now, mind you, I just believe in the possibility of everything, and then I'm partial to what I'm strong, like what I believe in strongly. Because I don't really know anything for a fact. Like, other than numbers and things like that, most things in life are subjective, not objective. So if you don't know the difference, it's like one is facts and one is kind of just either like opinion-based or theory-based or whatever you want to refer it to. It's not a fact, okay? So, and then, I have my theories about the world. So we could say, oh, yeah, the earth is round. And I'm partial to believing, yes, the earth is round. But it could be flat. Like, I've never gone out into space and looked at this motherfucker to be like, it's round, everybody. Like, I've never seen it for myself. I'm listening to what I'm being fed by a government that hates us, okay? Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
You funny, bro.
But what I was going to say about the Sagittarius thing was, we just think it's really cool because there's just some really cool accuracies within, like, horoscopes and zodiac and all that stuff. And a Sagittarius is, one of the things that it says is that we're very blunt and straightforward and things like that. Sometimes that can be to a flaw occasionally, but we've definitely learned how to suppress that part to where we go overboard. We had to learn our lesson on that one. To know how to talk to people, or who, like, when you're talking to certain people, you gotta know how to talk to them. But some people can handle things that other people can't. But essentially, we don't really like to talk about ourselves. And I know even me saying that just sound like it just made my skin kind of crawl a little bit. It made my skin just go like, ugh. Well, I don't like talking about ourselves. So even when I say things like, we keep it real, people, and we're woke, we're this, I don't even like saying those kind of things because
it's like, why
it's
you
just
gotta
like,
announce
like,
shit?
yeah, like, why you gotta just say it? Like, it just makes me like go like, ugh. But because I'm such a straightforward person, it just like comes out because that's just like, that is my truth. So, like, we always just try to speak on a very truthful basis. Like, I don't even know how not to do it until I sit there and I hear myself, and then I'm like, oh, God. Like, I know that my impulsiveness just, like, I just blurt it out, and then I sit there like, ugh.
Hey, you don't have a charger up here, do you?
No, I don't.
I'll grab that. I won't grab it.
So, sorry, guys. All right. Let's read some of these comments. Oh, guys, you guys are trying to give me shit for saying the earth is flat. Look, I don't think the earth is flat. I'm just saying I believe in the possibility of everything. So is it possible that the earth is flat? Sure. It could be possible. I don't think so. Is it possible? Yes. Because none of you guys have been out into outer space to see whether or not it's actually round. And it's like, oh, but there's this, and look at these Google images, and look at this, that. Y'all rely too much on what other people tell you. Okay? Okay. And that's that. No. Jeez, you guys. So someone said, I'm always open to perspectives, even if I don't agree with you. I'm still going to see why you think the way you do so that I can understand where you're coming from. Boom.
Baby.
Boom. But a lot of people don't get that.
What don't they get?
That, like, we don't have to agree with each other, right? At the very least, we could respect each other's differences and understand different perspectives. But everybody just, like, loves to live in, like, complacent ignorance. Alright. If you're reading this still, you're bad as fuck. Like a toddler. No, I'm just playing. I gotta chill. I think I'm getting secondhand smoke up in here. But thank you. Thank you. No, genuinely. Alright, somebody said, you've been holding this in for a while. Kinda. No, if anybody's actually been on any of my lives, you know that this is a common theme for me to get, like, deep and passionate about things that I talk about.
Seems like you come over everybody's head.
But when it's, like, late at night, I low-key do start coming for people that I'm just like, really?
Because it's been a long day.
It's really? Alright, let me calm down so I can not be exactly what I said I'm not. Be a hypocrite just like I've been out here complaining about. Lord, I'm sorry. Forgive me.
You making that ramen look good.
No, we can't eat ramen no more, bro.
No, bro, don't feed your kids ramen.
All right, someone said, Dylan, how can you tell if people like you for who you are and not just your body? Does it make you skeptical about starting relationships with the opposite sex, that is? Yes, Jelly XO. Here's the thing. Unfortunately, I have learned many lessons, and I was just explaining this to my friend, right?
Right.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay, wait. So I have learned many of lessons in my lifetime. In my 24 years, I've been living for about 60.
And you've been spiritually, you're probably
I'm probably about 60.
That's when people say you got an old soul.
No, like, I got a old. Like, I got all the wrinkles. I'm like the tree in Pocahontas, okay? I'm grandmother. I am Grandmother Willow. I'm Grandmother Dillo. Okay?
I knew you were going to do that. Y'all, why you let her be this corny?
Whatever.
Crazy.
Leave you alone. Leave you alone. So what I was
crazy. Y'all let her do this.
What I was going to say was... Unfortunately, when it's come to like dating, for me personally, it's just not time for that right now.
It's just not time for that
right now, because I just feel like when I start to date and I'm open-minded to that, it just steers me off the beaten path of my life purpose that I'm trying to fulfill. I know that there's going to be a time for that. It's just not right now. And frankly, I have met a lot of people who are ultimately not great people when it comes to being in a relationship. And you see a lot of things happen around you. You see guys willing to be shady and shysty, and a lot of times
we going deep with.
And a lot of times when you think about like the physical body, it is sometimes hard to distinguish what is it that you are really seeking. Now, mind you, everybody can only work with the physical initially, right? You have to decide, you can decide whether or not you're physically attracted to somebody. And sometimes the shit can work backwards. Sometimes you could see somebody who you're not necessarily physically attracted to, but you start communicating and then you're like, oh, they suddenly start becoming more attractive because of their mind or their spirit or their
But that's
energy.
if you have if you have those layers
But
to you.
that's
if you don't have those layers to you, you're not going to feel that way.
That's if you're not a shallow person. Like, if you're a shallow person, you're not going to connect with somebody on those levels to even see them as a more attractive individual. But in which case scenario, unfortunately, because of how I choose to express myself, which, you know, I like to consider tastefully sexy, being real about it, you know, I'm completely aware that there's thirst traps that get thrown around here and there. Most of the time, my intentions are not to thirst trap, but I'm not going to say I haven't had it in mind, like, man.
Mm-hmm. It's just more of like, you know, and that's what it is. It's like, I'm not doing it because I'm like, I got a thirsty trap.
Yeah, like,
it's just more like, oh,
in the back of my mind, I'm not like, in the back of my mind, I'm not posting something like, all right, let's watch the dicks rise and whatever else.
Oh,
like,
wow.
In the back, like, I know that was very vulgar, but
yeah, that
like,
was vulgar.
Like, in my mind, that's not what my intentions are. Like, I just know, like, yeah, you know, I feel pretty sexy today, so I'm just gonna do my thing. But my intention is actually not to be sexual or super provoking. My intention is literally just self-expression.
Can I comment on something quickly before you keep going on? Someone made a comment that says, once people know what's really important in life, it gets a lot easier. And I want to emphasize that comment because it is so true. And I'm going to break it down for you because I just had this conversation with somebody. So when you say, like, what's important to you, right? Or you can say what's important in life. It's about what's important in life to you. This whole experience that we're having is trying to figure that out. It's like, what is important to us, right? And once we figure that out internally, what's important to us, the next step then is, am I really willing to suffer for this thing? Do I want this thing as a part of my life? Do I want to continue to have it as in my life in this way? And if so, and what suffering am I willing to go through? Am I willing to suffer?
Quote stills. Like
am I willing to suffer? What Jill and I have talked about this a bajillion times. We each be using each other's quotes, so she just had to, get hers in there, that credit in there for that. But yeah, what are we willing to suffer for, right? And the thing is, that goes into all aspects of our lives. That goes into our relationships. That goes into our careers. That goes into our own selves and own desires. And so when you look at it and say, like, for instance, I'm in a relationship.
Holy, my head is looking this big this whole dang time. Sorry, continue.
If I'm in a relationship and I say, this relationship is important to me, I'm willing to make, the suffering would be the sacrifices you have to make when it comes to being in a relationship. You know, if you're in a monogamous relationship, you're not allowed to see and be with other people in a, you know, in an intimate space because you can't cross that line. You might have to be better with your communication if that's something you're not good at. You might have to, you know, do things for them or put up with things of theirs that might not be the best qualities or habits. And when you say, I'm willing to go through that suffering because what I want is so important to me, it matters that much to me that I'm willing to go through that suffering, then you know something is really genuinely important to you. Not just like, oh, I kind of want it.
11 seconds.
Bam. Not just like, oh, I kind of want it, or, oh, everybody else wants it, so I think I want it too. Like, no, legitimately, it is something that you value, it is important to you, you're willing to suffer to keep it around, or have it, or get it, right? So once you figure out what you genuinely, once you find out what you genuinely want, why I emphasize that comment, is because it really does make it easier. Once you break down, like, hey, this is what I want, this is what I'm willing to suffer through, decisions are much easier. You'll still get tempted, and our feelings and our emotions that we go through as human beings are gonna, you know, like that temptation under you, and the devil will be coming looking real good.
Hey.
Okay.
Crap.
So, yes, you're gonna still get distracted in this life. We're gonna make mistakes, but it's all a part of the journey and the experience, you guys. Our souls come here for this experience, so enjoy it.
Listen, I'm gonna put you guys on to something that honestly, I might need to be like compensated for telling people in the future, okay? But I'm not gonna do that today. So, yeah, the other day I discovered something that literally put so many things into retrospect for me, like in life. Like everything became aligned as fuck once I really understood this perspective. So, you know the concept of like live life like you're gonna die, you know? Ultimately, the truth of the matter is everybody is going to die. We just don't.
Oh, damn. I just like checked out what you said, and then all I got the last part was all I got from that whole thing you just said was everybody's going to die.
Now look, the truth of the matter is the reality for everybody is that at some point in time, it is an inevitable fact of humanity that we're all going to die. We just don't know when. That's the thing. Like, our time is not guaranteed. Time is very valuable. That's what I'm saying. The Jim Carrey level of thinking is we are all these itty-bitty specks living on an itty-bitty speck. Okay? And at the end of the day, you always hear people say things like, you gotta try to, like, live life to the fullest because, like, you could die tomorrow. You know, you never know what happened, right? So everyone says you want to live life to the fullest. But what does that mean exactly? What does it mean to live life to the fullest? Well, I'll tell you guys something. To me, I thought living life to the fullest meant, okay, I gotta like go and like experience everything that's right here in front of me and right now and fulfill whatever like impulses or immediate desires or whatever it is that I'm having. I gotta do it all right here, right now, right here, linear, in this space, laterally, boom. Right? That's what I thought that meant.
But that's not the deal.
But that's not even it.
That's not the deal.
That's not even it. And it clicked for me the other day that in order to utilize my time as efficiently as possible while I have it, is to try to fulfill my life's purpose in the most efficient way possible. What decisions am I going to make in order to fulfill my life's purpose so that way I can experience what greatness this world really has to offer once I reach that level. For me, and this is obviously everybody has their own individual lanes and journeys and purposes that they feel they need to fulfill. But when you're sitting here and you're just playing around in the bullshit, you're never really
gonna know what it's like to experience like the greatness because you're so caught up in all this bullshit over here because you think that look, everybody's out here everybody's out here starving, right? We're all starving for something. We're starving for love, we're starving for money, we're starving for success, we're starving for enlightenment, we're starving for knowledge. Everybody's out here hungry. I'm hungry for my summer body. We're all hungry.
You're making me hungry talking
We're
that
all
damn
hungry
aggressive.
for something. But if you knew what was up ahead, would you waste 2 seconds on what was being presented to you right here? Like if you had to make, now don't get me wrong.
I think some people would still.
McDonald's is, and that's
But
okay.
see,
That's okay.
And that's okay as long as you're being honest about it.
As long as
you know what?
And-
This is just my little side thing, and it's
as long
cool
as you know that's what's going to make you happy.
in that moment. Then don't be mad about it later.
No. As long as you know it's going to make you happy in life.
Right.
Not just in that moment.
Right.
Like you have to be present.
You gotta be totally okay with whatever. But my thing is but I'm saying be truthful because what I'm saying is, Dylan, like some people realize, you know what, there's something better for me, but I'm okay with eating the Wendy's too right now.
Right. But that's not moving efficiently, right? So that's not, in my opinion. You have to be present because you have to appreciate what's going on in the present moment. So it's not to say that you constantly need to be looking ahead and looking for the next fix. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is be present, but make decisions to move efficiently. That's why today, if you guys saw my post, I made a quote where I said, you know, if you want different, you got to move different. If you want better for yourself, you have to do better. For yourself.
Someone said they're calling it instead of quotable. They said when Coda drops quotes.
I was going to say quotable.
Call it the quotable.
That's
hard.
Prince.
That's hard.
Anyway, and then I said, if you want to do something that's never been done before, you'll have to do things you do things you've never done before. And a lot of people don't get that because we're living in this like cyclical process where ultimately we are all creatures of habit, right? We're all creatures of habit. We like to make the same decisions and the same choices when put in similar scenarios. But ultimately, a lot of people have a very hard time recognizing it as this cyclical process and habitual nature. A lot of people have a really hard time recognizing it as that. Okay,
I want to answer this question because I'm over this topic. Someone said, what's something you didn't realize about yourselves that you recently discovered? Man, yo, can I be real with you? Mine's not totally positive, but I'm going to try and bring the most light to it. Something that I realized about myself in these recent months was that it's going to kind of sound corny as ever. Let's find a way not to make it that way. I discovered that I have more insecurities and more triggers that are deeply rooted in things that that have been instilled in me and conditioned into me than I even realized, right? And I just discovered that for a lot of these years, those insecurities were masked because of my walls. Because of all my walls that I put up, I never allowed myself to get into too vulnerable of spaces because I didn't want to face any of those potential insecurities that I was feeling, so I just let myself stay guarded. And for the first time in my life, the last year and a half, I let my wall down. In my last relationship, I'll be vulnerable about that. I'm not afraid anymore to be. So in my last relationship, I really became as vulnerable as I've ever been. I've never been that vulnerable with anybody, and I really had to go through some really hard emotions that were difficult to deal with because it felt like rejection. It felt like you weren't good enough. When you feel betrayed, it kind of just opens Pandora's box for like insecurities. Because I've never had a relationship before like that, I kind of threw myself into it and lost myself a little bit.
Rule number 1, stay away from these NBA players. Amen. I'm sorry, that's just some real shit. Somebody's gonna go talk a bunch of shit about me for saying that, but whatever.
Whatever. So basically, I threw myself into that relationship and I got lost. I lost myself and had to like rediscover myself in a way and build on myself. So now I can say that I definitely feel like I've grown up a lot. I definitely do not see the world as black and white anymore. I see it in a little more jaded gray perspective. But at the end of the day, I'm super grateful and appreciative because it does make me empathize more for people than I did before, where Dylan mentioned earlier I've been very critical in the past. But that's because I hadn't experienced anything. So I hadn't really gone through those mistakes or made mistakes or, been hurt or crushed or truly disappointed before this experience. And it was truly crushing and disappointing. It definitely led me to having a lot of trust issues for a long time. And yeah, it sucked, but I'm so grateful for it now. And I have no ill will or like any negative energy that I'm harboring or spitefulness at all. I'm at such peace with it. And
but the thing is like you can ultimately find there's a lot of beauty in the struggle. You know what I'm saying? If you choose to let it build you up. Like, a lot of these things that we experience, a lot of the painful things that we experience and the struggles that we experience are ultimately character building. But it's like I saw in a couple of the comments that I read, it's like you're going to continue to experience the same kind of tests until you like pass the test essentially, but until you take that lesson, you've learned it and you apply it. Because there are even times where I realized for myself that I would go through something with somebody or some situation, or hold on, this shit too loud for me. Ugh. So I would go through an experience and then I would learn the lesson that I was pretty certain I was supposed to take away from it after a lot of like self-analyzation, not even analyzing what the other people do to me, because that's not how you grow internally. You got to worry about you and what you did and how you need to move differently. So I don't look at like, oh, he did this and they did that and they did this. Like, yeah, sure, that person did some fucked up shit, but that's for them and God and whoever else need to figure out. That's not my problem anymore. I can't figure that shit out for them. So I got to work on me. So when I'm sitting there, I'm doing this self-reflection and I'm learning the lessons I'm pretty confident that I need to learn. That's one thing. But until I actually apply that lesson to my life and genuinely start moving in the direction that lesson is trying to take me in.
Yo, I just got to mention real quick. I don't know if you pointed out Keita Colston. Yes. Okay, sorry.
Well, yes to what?
He just said, I feel like God will just keep giving you those same tests until you pass.
Dakota.
I'm sorry.
That's literally what I'm talking about right now.
Oh, yeah. Amen. Sorry, yo. Sorry.
Interrupted me
so sorry.
Okay, I'm just going to lay back down.
No, I'm sorry, bro. Come back. I like when you speak facts. I was just trying to read all the rest of the other comments. So I was like reading all those and I kind of zoned out. But they appreciated what you had to say. Don't stop talking. It's not about us. We had these conversations a million times. So I know exactly how you think. It's about you answering it for them. You know? Okay, I'm sorry, Dill. She got an attitude with me, y'all.
No, I'm just reading comments
now. But yeah, life is crazy, you guys. Y'all are too much. Okay. Yeah, I try to keep it simple. You know, those that can keep up with Dill, that's advanced level stuff, you guys. So if you can keep up with Dill, how she talks, if you can keep up with that, that's impressive, because that's advanced level of thinking and thoughts and then, you know, being verbalized. Whereas I try to apply my deep thinking into a simplistic answer that the masses can hopefully catch and understand to help them expand their mind and give them new perspective. So I try to make it work in that way, I guess, so people understand what I'm saying and I don't sound like a crazy person. So my life is telling me that I gotta get up off this thing. Yeah. I love you guys too. I really do. But I will, gosh dang, sorry guys. I just realized that I'm really, really far behind in your comments. But yeah, my thing is telling me I have to get off here. It's literally about to kick me off of the live. Dylan, do you want to get back on for a little bit, or do you want to end it here? We have 44 seconds. That's a great number.
Well, guys, it's 44 seconds left to go. Dr. Dill will just say, let's start trying to live our lives the most efficiently that we can. Let's cut out all the bullshit. That little voice, that intuition that you get inside, or that thing that makes your stomach turn a little bit. No, even if you're not a spiritual person, just know that that's essentially what we consider God speaking to you and telling you that something's not right for you, or that you need to be going down in another direction. And ultimately, you really know what that is. Sometimes it's just hard to want to take that leap of faith, or you get scared that you're going to fail.
5.